Hey friends, Pegasus in the Starfield here with an Outpost build for my wanted combat medic, Selene. We're going to be touring her Winter Lake Refuge. As we go through it, I'll tell you a little more about her since I play differently depending on which character I'm in. I have a couple. Specific builds for each are in playlists on my channel. I found these cool icy lakes in the frozen plains of McClure 2, which I chose for its relative proximity to the settled systems and its living conditions. You can go around without a spacesuit depending on the weather, and it has safe water. Selene had to go through the Unity unexpectedly with several quests and ship builds in mid-progress, so I'll be attempting to rebuild those ships, complete Shattered Space, which I had only started, and I also have a couple new ideas for this roleplay. This is the open garage. It's a good size for storing more than just the Rev 8, so I put an industrial workbench and mission board in here, as well as storage and immersive clutter. I'll walk around the Rev so you can see some of the other decorations. Since Selene is being hunted by ecliptic mercs, I'm planning a few different hideouts for her and trying to camouflage the structures and her ships in the landscape as much as possible. Back in the forest, I have some resource production going on. I've got a couple of husbandry facilities. I was really excited to discover that milliwhales are domesticable here, so although I don't need their toxin, I will take it because that means I get to have them as pets. I think milliwhales are some of the cutest creatures in this game, and I love the color pattern they have in the winter biome. I also have vivusilisks, a few greenhouses, and a copper extractor running back here. Putting them in between the trees like this definitely helps me feel like we're keeping things under the radar here. Selene is my combat character, so her focus is in the tech, combat, and health skills. I'll probably only add skill points to planetary habitation so she can build a greater number of outposts. Next, we'll check out the living quarters, and aside from camouflaging them, another constraint I put on Selene's outposts is the planet conditions. If I'm making a safe house, I want her to be able to relax there, which means going without the spacesuit and being safe from environmental damage. I'm using a database to help me find those planets outside the game. Link is in the description. I'll probably also be trying to keep the outposts fairly small because they're easier to hide. Here's the other milliwhale. They've never done this before, but looks like he wants to come inside. The first room there is the entryway. I got a new plant mod that I'm thrilled with, Gardeners of the Galaxy. It's got a shop in New Atlantis, tons of new bonsai plant varieties, and buildable outpost displays to put them in. So far, I've only been to the shop every time I've landed in New Atlantis. On the desk are a few data slates Selene has recovered from encounters with the bounty hunters. I think I'm going to collect that wanted slate from them every time as a way to track how many times they catch up with her. They haven't found this safe house yet, but it's best to assume they will at some point. This is the main living area. I've been favoring the open floor plan in my builds lately, and this outpost is no exception. The kitchen and dining room, exercise equipment, TV, and a pool table with a wine sideboard are all in here, along with a half bath and laundry. I kept the color scheme fairly neutral, lots of grays and wood tones. I like how the natural textures of the plants, the rock wall panels, and the jute rugs complement everything, and it just feels serene here. Which, is probably a difficult feeling to find when you're constantly on the lookout for bounty hunters coming after you. The upper floor has a small reading area with a large window to enjoy the sun and scenery. The other side is a walk-through washroom, and this is the first time I've used these striped glass walls from Miss O's mod. Those and the rock walls used together here were actually inspired by one of her recent builds, the Lavender Lagoon Luxury Retreat. There's a link to it in the description if you want to check it out. final room is multi-purpose, bedroom along with workroom. Downfall Nemesis recently updated their Deco Pack mod to include some of the furniture without clutter, like these nightstands, as well as some of the desks, shelves, and tables like that one with the coffee service. Even though this is a hideout, it's also a place where Selene can work on her equipment, plan ship builds, and research new safe house locations. So I've got a nav table and a full suite of industrial and equipment workbenches for her. And lastly, there's a lake view balcony off the bedroom, complete with a fire pit and hot tub that faces the sunset. That was really just luck on my part. I didn't check the sun's progress before choosing the location or starting to build. I just wanted the house right on the shoreline. Coming up for Selene, I'm putting the finishing touches on her first ship build in New Game Plus 1, the Ambit, which is inspired by a book I read a little while ago. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop me a line. Thanks for watching. Catch a smile out there.